Welcome to LearnHowToQuilt.com. This is the fourth video in our Same Quilt, Different Techniques series featuring zigzag quilts. Today you'll learn another technique for making these Flying Geese units that make up each snake in this fat quarter friendly quilt. Hope you decide to stay tuned. You can download these free handouts by clicking on the link below, or you can visit LearnHowToQuilt.com and search Zig Zag Quilt. You'll need 5 different quarter-yard fabric for the snake and 1 yard of fabric for the background, along with backing, batting, and binding. From each quarter yard, cut 2 7 1/4 inch squares. Cut 5 3.5 inch by 44-45 inch strips. Put 4 of these 3.5 inch strips aside for the borders, and then from one of these strips, you'll cut 10 3.5 inch squares. Cut 4 3 7/8 inch strips, and then cut 40 3 7/8 inch squares. You'll get 10 of these squares from each strip. Now it's very easy to get these strips mixed up, so I recommend labeling at least the 3.5 inch ones, if not both, making sure to separate 3.5 inch squares from the 3 7/8 inch squares after they've been cut. This is a quick method for making 4 of these Flying Geese units. Instead of using triangles, you'll be working with squares. Before you start sewing, you'll have to mark a diagonal line on each one of these squares. I'm using this board that my husband made for me a long time ago. He glued a fine gauge piece of sandpaper on top of a board, and this sandpaper grips that fabric so it doesn't move when you want to mark on it. I go from corner to corner. I want to make sure that I'm getting in the corner there. I use this colored pencil, and I'm not sure if this is going to show up. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to switch to another fabric here. Here's the white, and on the back of that white, I'm going to mark this diagonal line. I want to make sure that I'm lined up from tip to tip. I'm going to mark it with a pen. See, when I'm marking this, my fabric's not bunching up underneath. I decided to switch to this white and red fabric for the demo as it's easier to see. I'll take one of these and place it in the corner, making sure to line up this side and that side. And then I'll take the other square, place it in the opposite corner, making sure to line up this side and that side. And both of the diagonals should meet in the middle here. I usually don't pin, but for this, I like to keep everything in place, so I'll pin. Now I'll take this to the sewing machine and I'll stitch a 1/4 inch over from this line. I'm using a dark colored thread so you can see. You'll want to use a more neutral color when sewing. I started sewing on this leader. I'm lining the edge of this 1/4 inch foot up with this line. Now if you don't have a 1/4 inch foot, you could draw another line 1/4 inch over here and then stitch on that line. If you notice, my foot is lined up right on top of that line. I'm not on this side of the line and I'm not on that side of the line. I'm just right on top of that line. When I get to the center here, I want to make sure that this lies flat so I can use the tip of my scissors, or if I have a stiletto, and then I'll sew till I get to the end. Pick up my next. Yes, it's harder to see the line here, but I just wanted to show you how I just push that in right up against the first piece and I continue sewing. After one side's been sewn, I flip it over and I sew on the other side of that line. Next, I'll cut on that middle diagonal line. Now this doesn't have to be perfect. It really won't make a difference if you're off a little in the middle there. You can see this seam allowance looks a little bit thicker than that one. What's most important is that you stitch a 1/4 inch away from that line. I'm going to take these over to the ironing board and I press. As you can see here, I press towards the little triangles. Take another marked square and line it up in the corner here, and then pin. Then I'll sew 1/4 inch on both sides of this line. After stitching, I'll cut on the drawn line. And once again, this cut doesn't have to be perfect. What's most important is that you're stitching 1/4 inch over from that center line. I'll take each one of these sections, pressing towards the smaller triangle, and there's my Flying Geese unit. For each 7 1/4 inch square, you'll end up with 4 Flying Geese. You'll have little ears on the end there, so you can trim those off either with a rotary cutter or you can use your scissors. You can use this handout to check the accuracy of your block. So your block should fit in between these dashed lines all the way around. Lay out 4 of your Flying Geese units in a row. Put right sides together and stitch. Take 2 of the 3½ inch squares and position them on either end of your row. And then take 3 of the Flying Geese units and line them up in the row. You'll have 1 extra unit. Put right sides together and stitch the row. Now when you're sewing, you want to make sure that the points meet like so. Over here you can see that I'm off a little. I've got my seam ripper here to rip that row out. If I adjust and move this up, I think I'll end up being okay here. Now on either end, you're going to have a space of about 1/4 inch. That's where the seam allowance is going to go. So you don't want this to be at the very edge here. After ripping out the seam and re-sewing, my points are looking better. Continue stitching sections together. First decide where your eyes will go. I have them alternating on this pattern, but you could put them all on one side or maybe 1 here and 4 over there, or however you want to do it. Next, pick the type of material you want for the eyes. I'll be using this black fabric instead of buttons. I use this nickel to trace around on this double-sided fusible. Then I cut out the eyes. Position your eyes and then press. Before moving on, I like to stitch around the eyes just to make sure that they'll stay secure during washing. Lay out your quilt. Sew together the tops and the bottoms of each snake. Then sew the snakes together. Take 2 of the 3½ inch strips, measure through the center, and trim off the excess. Sew these strips to the side and then press. Take the last 2 strips and measure through the center, trim, and then sew to the top and bottom. And here's my completed quilt top. For the backing, I cut up a panel featuring other outdoor critters. This quilt, along with a book, can make a nice gift for a new baby. Hope you enjoyed our Zig Zag Quilt series. Please share these videos with your friends. Thanks.